How do you feel ready for something that's twice as far as you've ever gone?
You see so many people do it, right? Why not me? Like, I'm not going to be afraid of the distance. I have respect for the
Yeah.
distance, but that's different than being afraid of the distance.
Why Leadville? You seem to love it.
I do love Leadville. I've visited there several times over the past few years, and I love the town. I love that the people are so friendly, and I just think it's beautiful. Like, I love running up there. I've always felt that, like, I feel really good at high altitude. So high altitude races very much appeal to me. I know from having done trips with a lot of other trail runners that I tend to acclimate very quickly.
Do you sleep well?
Yes.
Oh my
Better.
God.
Better.
What?
I think I should live up there.
Yeah. Well, that's what Courtney said.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm living in Golden. Why would I live in Golden if I can live in Leadville?
That's, yeah, I know. I understand.
I've been going up there for a couple of years now as well. Kate's Kate's cousin has a house. And so we've been there a bunch of times, and we were there I think twice this summer. But the mountains up there just make you feel so small, and it's super humbling. We did Elbert, which is the tallest mountain in Colorado, last week, and just like being up that high for that long, it's empowering, it's cool, it's like, I don't know, it's just something that I wish everyone could experience, because there's no way to describe it that does it justice.
Yeah. I think it's just so beautiful. I love the feeling of being above like tree line. I think it's like, I feel really good up there. I actually feel like there's more air up there.
You're taking it from everyone else. Okay, so you DNF the 100K. The summer begins. You do all the Leadville races. You win a bunch of races, and you get entry into the 100. So you have this thing staring you down that is longer than you've ever gone before by a substantial margin.
My longest was 53 at Canyons. So basically I had to
double it.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I felt ready.
Why?
The training.
But like, how do you feel ready for something that's twice as far as you've ever gone?
I mean, you see so many people do it, right? Why not me? Like, I'm not going to be afraid of the distance. I have respect for the distance, but that's different than being afraid of the distance. I don't think fear is productive. Like, yes, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, but like, training is about working on those things. And so in lining up for this race, by the time I got to the start line, like in the beginning, when I first got entry, it's like, okay, I have it. I've wanted to do this race for a really long time. Like when Matt asked me, like, what are the races you want to do? Leadville was top of the list. I just didn't know when it was going to happen.
We got to get him to do Leadville.
Yes. I think he would do really well on that course. Too. Yeah. So it's like top of my list for 100-mile races that I want to do. When I think about it, it was a dream first one for me. It suited me as far as like, I do want to do the more mountainous ones. I don't want to do just like right now, you know, people have asked me like, aren't you curious how like fast you could run like a flat 100-mile? And right now that isn't of interest. I'm not going to say it wouldn't be eventually, but like for me, I love the big mountain days. So like, you know, I do want to do the more mountainous ones. I love the high altitude adventures. Like I got to run a bunch on the High Lonesome course this summer. That's a beautiful course.
Yeah.
So what I liked about Leadville is it has some of that, and it also has runnable sections, right? And it's like, there's several different like distinct sections to that course that kind of have their own vibe. And to do Leadville well, you have to be a well-rounded runner. You can't just be a road runner. You can't just be a good climber or descender. You kind of have to have like this like whole package. And so it allowed me to like, I already have the road speed. So now I need to work on like climbing and descending, right? And then I also need to work on like those transitions, because you have the more runnable with like some climbs and some descents. Then you have like a lot of climbing, a lot of descending together. And then it's like, where are your legs after, right? So I felt like I really liked that challenge of needing to be able to like transition between those different sections. And high altitude too. Like I actually feel really good up there, and the splits I hit aren't all that different than down here, which probably sounds crazy, but it's true. And so once I'm adjusted to being up there, I feel really good. And so when I had the opportunity this summer, because I was in Buena Vista first for 6 weeks, training and living high with a friend, an athlete I coach who was doing high lonesome, once I got entry, I was like, this is the summer to do it, because I'm so adjusted right now to like 8,000 feet. I'm just going to extend my time in Leadville, train for the race. Like, this is the perfect summer to do it. And so, yes, I had a ton of respect for the distance, but I didn't allow like what happened at Canyons to make me feel nervous, because I really had feeling so dialed, and I really trust myself and my effort meter. As like coming from road, that's been a huge benefit, is like I'm very in tune with effort. And so I've been able to like pretty much predict what splits I would run. Like, I ran every split I gave to my crew at Silver Rush 50 within a minute. And I finished like right where I said I would. Like, I ran 7:04, and I had calculated for like that low 7 range. And I was like, maybe I could slip under if I feel good. But like, I felt I was right on. And then even with the 100, like, I ran pretty much every split, like very close without looking. Both times I did not look. I just ran by effort. But it's like, because I was training up there and I was able to do some sections of the course, like, I just was very realistic in knowing what I could run. So, after running on the course, training on the course, just living high and feeling so good up there, and just feeling high altitude adjusted, fueling's going well. I'm 100% in my body. Like, I had a healthy training cycle, no niggles, no concerns, just felt strong all the time. Like, I just felt ready. And you have to be confident, and you have to trust yourself. And like, on race day, I didn't let what was going on around me with like so many men going out so fast. I didn't try to keep up with them. I was like, I'll catch them on Hope Pass. But like, really, my competition is with myself, right? So it's like, I don't.
You finished ninth. You finished ninth overall. So
yeah. So it's like, I'm really just competing with myself anyway. But yeah, I mean, I felt very in control of like, most aspects, I would say, of the race. And so lining up, I felt very calm about it and very relaxed about it. And if there's one thing I've learned as an athlete who used to have pre-race anxiety, the more calm you can be race week, you're going to sleep better. Race morning, zen, not stressed, because you're just wasting energy. Right. And like getting flustered and like anxious and like worrying about the what ifs that like may not happen is just
control
unproductive.
The controllables.
Yeah.
So were you aware that you were so close to course record?
So Matt told me from the moment I got entry that the course record was in my reach as an athlete. Like, before we had even done most of the training, like, and he had told me the same thing with like the marathon, the Silver Rush 50, that like, that was course record. Like, we knew I could take them on my best day. Right. And so.
And did you do that on those races?
So the marathon, I thought it was 4:03, because that was what was like on Google. Apparently it was 3:58, and I ran 3:59.
Close enough.
I didn't know. So, the issue with the marathon is they're frequently moving it down. If it's like a snowy year, it won't go up Mosquito Pass. And so there are some, if you look at the records, there are some distance women who have run under 4 hours, but it was when they moved the course down because of the snow. They found one record from 2008, and they were like, we're not sure, so we can't confirm it. Like, it looks like it was probably the full course, so we can't. So, you're second at worst, if you will. And then with the 50, yes, that was a new course record. So when I sat down to think about, after having run the whole course, like in various sections, I sat down and I charted out like sub 18 hours, because I have to give my crew splits, right? That was really the reason for it.
Right.
I wouldn't have.
The record was 18:06.
18:06, yes. And so in calculating under 18 hours, it is more runnable at first. And you'll see this like in the splits. Like, if you're tracking on athletes, like everyone's running quickly, and then there's like a big slowdown over
Yeah, it's
Hope
downhill
Pass.
for the first 10K.
Yeah. And then so with Hope Pass, it's like everyone slows down substantially, and then like you do speed back up, but like how much are you speeding up by? Because it's like the last 40 of the race.
Right.
So when I sat down and I calculated like splits for each section, it was based off of like how I felt running an easy long run there. And so I gave those splits to my crew and I ran them all until I got to Winfield.